Hello, Brussels. Hey, how's everybody doing? Good afternoon. Hey, UnitedXR. It's good to be here. My name is Jake STEINERMAN. I'm a developer advocate at Meta. Just joined earlier this year. I actually used to work for a company called Spatial.io, so I really feel the spatial vibes. I was at Unity Unite a couple weeks ago. Now we're at UnitedXR. I flew United Airlines to get here, so I'm really feeling united with you all today. But really excited to talk to you about something I'm incredibly enthusiastic about, and that's, of course, building on MetaQuest and Meta Horizon OS. And to define, I think I want to put out and define a couple of different terms and help differentiate between a few different things. First, of course, I think everyone here knows our flagship device, the MetaQuest 3. It's the ultimate VR experience. It allows you to have an infinite display with the widest field of view, 4K resolution, and tons of storage and premium comfort. And we have our Quest 3S, which offers a lot of the same core features as the Quest 3, but at a more affordable price, making it more accessible for newcomers and value-focused customers. And they're both powered, of course, by the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 processor, so you can get full color pass-through and mixed reality, allowing you to get a wide range of experiences that I'll show you and talk about today. The other kind of term, you hear the word Horizon a lot. Of course, that's baked in to our terminology and to the ecosystem. These platforms are running on Meta Horizon OS. That's the name of the operating system running the Quest. And this, of course, encompasses both standalone apps and games that are built with game engines like Unity and Unreal. So games like Animal Company, which is one I actually got to work on before I came to Meta, Star Wars, UGG, Blade and Sorcery, tons of others. And it also runs Worlds, which are built with Horizon Studio, which is coming soon, where that's our cross-platform social UGC ecosystem, where you can jump into games, sports, music, social experiences across platforms. So whether that's VR, mobile, or desktop web, Horizon OS is running across all of these different types of experiences. Then we have Horizon Engine, which we just announced at Connect a couple of months ago. This is a new engine that we built from the ground up to power larger, more visually stunning spaces, deliver smooth gameplay in Worlds and in Home on Horizon. This is something that's pretty rare and ambitious to do in the industry, to go out and build your own engine. But it's something that we took a significant long-term investment into and to bring to realization, which, of course, is already powering experiences today on Horizon. There's a lot of different ways that developers and creators like to build on Horizon OS. I keep coming back here because my notes are here and they're not showing up here. So if you're like, why is he kind of hugging the stage like this, like he's nervous? It's because I have my notes over here. But there's a lot of different paths that developers like to use, whether, like I mentioned, there's Unity or Unreal, of course, for building really high-fidelity games and experiences. There's Worlds, like I mentioned, with Horizon Studio, so building those social experiences across device. We have our Meta Spatial SDK, which lets you transform your apps into mixed reality using a native Android framework to give your users an innovative spatial experience. Then, of course, we can also, if you have an existing 2D Android application, we have pathways for you to bring those 2D apps into Horizon OS as well. And lastly, something we announced recently, which is really, really cool, is our Immersive Web SDK, or the IWSDK. So this is a web-based way to build VR experiences for Quest. It runs directly in the browser on Horizon OS. There's no app or download needed. It's built on WebXR standards, so it's the same tech that powers VR on the open web. Developers love it because it lets them use familiar tools like JavaScript, WebGL, and frameworks like A-Frame and 3JS. You get instant deployment. You just share a URL and instantly works in their browser. Users just click a link and they're in VR. You can write it once and run everywhere. It's the same code that works on Quest, PC VR, and even mobile AR. And what's really great, it actually lets you leverage the sensors on the device, so things like locomotion and grab interactions, so you can move around and interact with objects naturally, which is something that other platforms don't necessarily allow you to do, so you can take full advantage of the headset itself, including things like spatial audio, scene understanding, really leveraging the full capabilities that makes the Quest and Horizon OS unique. The other thing that's really interesting that you can do, I actually did this yesterday, is a new system called Hyperscape that we launched and announced at Connect this year. This allows you to use your Quest 3S or Quest 3, scan your space using Gaussian splatting technology, and create a hyper-realistic copy of that space. These are a couple of examples of ones that we did. We have a lot more cool examples with partners coming soon. So if you wanted to step into Gordon Ramsay's home kitchen, if you wanted to step into the UFC Octagon, go for a round, or really cool spaces like Chance the Rapper's recording studio or Happy Kelly's room. Yesterday, I actually scanned my hotel room, which had a lot of cool statues and other pieces of art in there as well. I haven't published it just yet, but if you go and follow me on Twitter, a little plug for my Twitter and Threads, I'm going to post the link, because now with Hyperscapes, you can actually make these spaces shareable and social as well, so you can jump in with up to 8 other people at a time, and that's being powered on our Worlds platform. So really, really cool stuff that you can do with Hyperscape that's bringing that hyper reality to virtual reality. There's really never been a better time to build in VR, and of course on Meta Horizon. Building on this hardware gives you access to millions of lifetime users in over 200 countries across the globe. More importantly, VR gives you an opportunity to tell your stories in new ways, whether it's giving your users unique, delightful ways to interact with your games, or the unique capabilities that VR allows you to take advantage of, like the pass-through camera for mixed reality, spatial audio to put your users at the center of the action, or hand tracking, which is a great novel way to interact with experiences without controllers. Together, these are allowing developers to build experiences that you can't do on other platforms. There we go. But now I'm sure you're thinking, that's great that there's lots of people using it, but I need to make this interesting for myself too and worthwhile. How do I actually make some money? Are developers making money? Well, it's really exciting to share that over 300 apps on the Meta Horizon store have now generated over $1 million in revenue to date. And on top of that, 10 have generated over $50 million in revenue. So that's kind of a little bit of explaining the differences in the Horizon ecosystem, explaining what's happening in the ecosystem. How do I actually get started? I'm interested, I want to start building. What do I do? What can I do to do that? So let's take a look at the developer journey. And this is, of course, generally shared no matter what platform you're building on. Whether you're starting and you want to get inspired and think of an idea for your application. Then getting into setting up that project, how I actually go ahead and set up my project for VR. Getting into developing, and once I want to start building and iterating on that experience. And then going into testing, QA, quality assurance that experience, publish it, and then get support from the community. What does that look like at every step of the journey? So first, the ideation stage. What is there out there for you to use to get some ideas, to get inspired? First, of course, we have our Developer Center, our Developer Hub. The Developer Center is the single destination for everything you need to build for Horizon OS, whether it's SDKs, tools, documentation, it's all there in one place. It also gives you access, access to powerful SDKs, like our Presence platform. So you can get the latest SDKs, including, like I said, the Presence platform, to unlock advanced features like hand tracking, mixed reality, and social presence in your apps. And it's a great place to get inspired by great success stories and developers and applications who've been building on the platform. So one example, Animal Company, they've been leading on the store for quite some time. In just 1 year, they drove over 1 billion organic views on social media and reached over 1 million monthly active users on the platform. They quickly became the #1 top seller on the Meta Quest, all through leveraging social media. So from them, it's really important to think of focusing on a viral first design philosophy, building deep partnerships with the community, and creating and maintaining a highly engaged audience. So that is one of the many success stories and examples that you'll be able to find on the Developer Center. Now, the other tool that we have, and this is something that Horizon developers use all the time, is our MetaQuest Developer Hub, or MQDH. This is a desktop application, both for Windows and Mac, that streamlines the development workflow for Quest headsets. It functions as a central hub where developers can manage devices, debug your apps, monitor performance, and deploy builds. It contains a lot of information, like some of those success stories. It has tools like quickly spinning up a new XR project with a lot of the configuration set up and ready to go for you. And it also includes tons of samples and examples, both full sample projects and games and sample code that you can use and leverage, and it's all open sourced as well on our GitHub. One of those, that sample library, which contains dozens of examples, and again, many of these samples are free-to-play games, which you can get on the Horizon Store, and the entire game and experience is downloadable on GitHub. That library is expanding quickly. So I'm really excited to announce a new sample game that's coming hopefully next week called Spatial Lingo. Spatial Lingo is a mixed reality language practice app. It uses the pass-through camera and Llama API to see the objects around you and translate them to the language you want to learn. It makes the language learning experience fun, and it converts everyday objects into lessons. So for developers, it's going to teach you things like how to integrate the pass-through camera API, how to use Llama API and properly build experiences using AI, and tools like or capabilities like scene understanding. So let's take a look. There's audio.
Grab my flipper. Thanks so much. Learning new languages is fun. Pick a language to plant the seed. Look, the language tree is sprouting. Let's speak some Spanish to help it grow.
El libro.
Good job. Can you say this word?
El globo.
You got it. The language tree is so big now. Thanks for your help.
So that's really fun. It's like Duolingo in mixed reality. That's really, really cool. So check that out next week. That's going to be available on the Horizon Store to download, and you can use in your own space, and then available on GitHub as an free open source project that you can use and take apart and use in your own experiences as you build as well. So we hope that makes it really easy to build pass-through and AI applications on the platform. So the next phase of the development cycle is project setup. How do you actually get your experience set up so you can start building? Well, there's something called the project setup tool, which is pretty obvious, I think, what it does. It helps you. It's a tool that helps you get your project all set up. It's designed to help you quickly configure your projects to use the WebXR core SDK. It guides you through the necessary steps so you can start developing more quickly, tests a registry of rules against configuration tests. So it's a whole set of rules you just click through. This is in Unity, which is one of the most popular platforms that our developers use. So it shows you everything that you need to do. And with one click, you can configure or fix different things, different configurations or settings that you need for your project to be set up and ready to go. All right, so you're all set up and ready to go with a click with the project setup tool. Let's actually start building. So to make it easy to start building on Horizon OS, which can be seen as complicated, we want to make it, again, as easy as possible. So beyond the samples that we have, we introduced some time ago building blocks, which are a way for you to get started prototyping and building really, really quickly. So whether it's building pass-through, integrating hand tracking, integrating AI, all kinds of capabilities are there that you can just click, drag and drop right into your project and add that capability. So for example, we have the grabbable building block. Something pretty simple and straightforward you want to do. You want to have an object or asset in your game that players can grab. So with this building block, you open up the building blocks UI, go over to the grabbable building block, and just drop that on the asset or assets that you want to allow players to make grabbable. It's really as simple as that to make it drag and drop. Here's an example that my colleague and YouTuber, a lot of you may know, Dilmer, built using the grabbable building block, simply dragging it into that experience. It actually supports both input modalities, so both hand tracking and controller tracking. So you can see in just a couple of minutes, you can have a simple experience like that set up and ready to go. He's got a great video on his YouTube channel where he goes through how to set that up with that building block. The building blocks are also configurable and extendable. So if you wanted to do things like custom hand poses, if players are picking up unique shaped objects or things like that, you can configure that with that building block as well. Here you can see a demo that was built earlier this year for GDC, both a mixed reality and hand tracking experience. And it really helps, again, here you can see the configurability of that, of the hand tracking capability. It really accelerates how quickly you can get started with these capabilities. So a new building block we just launched recently with V83 of the developer kit is pass-through with AI. So this allows you to add functionality and experiment with the pass-through camera access, which is a foundational building block to allow the front-facing cameras on your device to see and understand the world around you. It also uses object detection, so it takes the images from the pass-through camera and feeds them to an object detection algorithm, enabling you to identify common objects in your room, as an example. This can form the basis of reacting in real time to understanding objects and changes in the environment. And then additionally, it lets you connect an LLM of your choice and bring all that power of a large language model to interpret and interact with your environment as well. Now, this is all part of the Meta XR all-in-one SDK, which has a lot of different capabilities. You can use these individually, but we definitely recommend using the all-in-one SDK, which has all these components combined in one easy-to-get downloadable package. So testing, you've built your experience, maybe you've added hand tracking, you've added pass-through. What can you do, and how do we help you when it comes to testing that experience? Well, first, we have this great tool that we actually just relaunched called the Meta XR Simulator. This was recently, like I said, redesigned from the ground up for simplicity and reliability. It's great for testing mixed reality applications in different room environments. So you can simulate all the major Quest features like hands, controllers, scene recognition, pass-through, in, I think, about half a dozen different preset environments that we've configured for you in there. It lets you capture those test sessions and replay them so you can see what went wrong and how to improve. And you can even use multiplayer, test with multiplayer. So if you have a multiplayer experience, that's supported as well. And if you wanted to really get a true feel for how the experience was, we even support connecting a headset to your computer as you're testing, so you can use the actual controllers and the actual input of the device and simulate that in other spaces. Next is the Immersive Debugger. So something that can be really painful when it comes to testing in VR, of course, is having to put your headset on and off. Go into VR, come back into real reality, and back and forth just to test and debug what you're doing. The Immersive Debugger solves that problem. So it's a tool that lets you monitor, visualize, troubleshoot, and iterate your app's gameplay, all from right inside your headset. So it's got a UI panel that shows up, as you can see, right in your experience, with a control bar, a console panel, an inspector, populated with everything, all application-specific debug options. So it's a great way to test really quickly, all without taking off your headset. Another great tool is the Quest Runtime Optimizer. So this helps developers identify and resolve performance bottlenecks in Quest applications. And fun fact, it's a Unity tool. You can actually use it in other applications as well, other experiences or games that you might be building with Unity. It's not specific to Quest. So it's a great tool that we put out there to provide to the community as a whole. So it can identify things like checking what game objects are taking a hit on performance, check vertices, shader size, materials, and then ranks them in terms of what's hitting your performance most. And it can capture multiple snapshots of the different issues that you're encountering as you're testing. So that's testing. The next and most exciting phase, of course, is publishing that experience to the Horizon OS store. So in our developer dashboard, which is a really powerful, detailed platform for you in our tool set. You can set up testing channels, beta testing channels, invite users to test before you go and publish. There's A/B testing tools if you want to test thumbnails or your PDP, your product detail page, before you go and set up. Even a lot of powerful analytics and reporting to see how you're doing and how you can improve those performance and even monetize those experiences as well. To help with this, we've put out a ton of courses and documentation to help you get started, including a partnership with Data Protocol, which walks you through how to boost conversion on the Horizon Store. What are the tips and tricks that you need to have a great product details page and perform well on the Horizon OS Store? So I highly recommend checking that out. We'll share that with you. But if you go over to dataprotocol.com and go to there we have a whole Meta Horizon channel set up with all different ways to help you be successful. And then community. We have an incredible community, Horizon community. There's tons of ways to get support as you're building. Whether it's the Feedback Center, which we launched recently, which allows you to report bugs, upvote, and submit feature requests that'll get prioritized by our teams as they get upvoted by the community. We, of course, have our public forums, and our Discord is a great place to get live interaction with the community as well. So what's next? That's kind of the full cycle and what's available when it comes to building on Quest and Horizon OS. What comes next? What can you do now if you're sold, if you haven't started building it on Quest and Horizon OS? Well, to start, you can join Start. Horizon Start is our incredible community of developers, thousands of developers across the world, the largest VR developer community out there. There are tons of resources, dedicated help channels, dedicated developers who can help you get started, answer your questions. It's a really great place if you're new to this industry, new to building. I highly recommend applying to Start and joining that community. And part of that, we're not just talking about this and building these tools, we're really continuing to invest in the community as well. So last month we announced the Horizon Start Developer Competition, which has $1.5 million in prizes, with some prizes valued at six figures, $100,000 individual prizes as well. So we really want to invest in great VR experiences, mixed reality experiences on the platform. And what's great is if you already have an experience on Horizon OS, if you add a significant update, maybe you integrate hand tracking or you integrate pass-through or add a new level, it still qualifies then to submit to the competition. Downside is it ends tomorrow, so you better get cracking. So I better see people run out of here and start building. But it does end tomorrow. We hope to do more of these. Next year. But this is a really great opportunity, and I hope it shows how invested and committed we are to the VR community and the XR ecosystem. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and take care.